Hello, leader. A big part of your role as a leader is to encourage and motivate your team. But for some of you, this doesn't come naturally, and you fret about doing it well, so you might avoid it altogether. You don't want to sound fake, you don't want to overdo it, and many of you think, well, I give them a paycheck, so why do I have to do anything else? Well, you do if you want to keep the great team members that you have. And I'm not talking about throwing more money at them. So today, I'm going to walk you through a few simple, low-cost, but super effective ways you can give to your team to help remind them about how great it is to be a part of your small business, which always leads to a boost in their productivity. And P.S., stay tuned to the end of this episode to hear about a new guide that we've created for you that shares 12 more ways that you can motivate your team without giving them a raise. Welcome to the Stacking Your Team podcast. Thanks for tuning in and following your curiosity to learn and honor your personal conviction to be the best leader you can be. On this podcast, you won't hear a bunch of theories presented by academics who haven't been in a workplace in years or ever, and you'll not hear from executives who are flush with capital, people, and pool tables in their cafeteria telling you how to build team culture. Nope. Why? Because you are a small business owner and you've built something great out of nothing. And through it all, you've learned that you need a team, but not just any team. I'm your host, Shelli Warren. I've led winning teams in retail, innovative technical teams at a Fortune 50 corporation for decades, not-for-profit boards, and in online business, and helped many remote teams win at work. And I can tell you that no one escapes team troubles, including me. These days, I'm the CEO of Stacking Your Team, where I teach and develop tools for small business owners so they can attract, retain, and develop their teams so the founder can step out of her day-to-day operation. I'm so happy you're here because we all know that the people side of running your business is often the most difficult, and the team that got you here may not be the team that gets you there. So come on, let's jump in to today's episode. Team turnover, ghosting, quiet quitting, excessive sick time, and mediocre performance are all very real situations that small business owners can find themselves in. You might be challenged right now with one of these. If you are, then you're likely at your wit's end trying to turn people's performance around. So here's a question for you. Have you ever asked your team what they want? You'd be surprised how many small business owners don't ask that question because they're afraid to hear that those team members are going to want more money, more time off, more flexibility, more boundaries, more worthwhile work, more prestige, just more, including the stuff that they want, but they can't quite describe. If you're afraid to hear what they want because you're not confident that you can even provide it, not knowing isn't helping you at all. You're simply avoiding the truth, maybe stalling for time when revenues improve, or just stalling for no real good reason at all. But motivating your team doesn't have to include giving more money. At the end of today's episode, I'll let you know about a resource that we've created for you that gives you lots of ideas to keep your team happy at work without a raise. Because after all, the business needs to be profitable in order to make any changes to your compensation model. But right now, let's go back to basics of leadership and your specific role. I'm going to share 5 ways that you can personally give gifts to your team that might seem general, common, or natural everyday occurrences. But for many of you, it's been the exact opposite, and your team is feeling it. Here's something to consider. It's a fact. When team members don't feel that their basic needs are being met at work, they start to act differently, and not in a good way. You'll see signs of disengagement, complacency, scapegoating, and gaslighting. In addition to looking for their next career move elsewhere and creating drama amongst their peers, they can also become increasingly entitled and start to take whatever they can from the business as a way of getting something to recoup whatever they feel they haven't been given. Yikes! At this point, it can be very difficult to re-engage someone who's creating this much damage across your team, and it will likely lead to termination. You'll find yourself wishing you'd made some changes sooner rather than having to reactivate your hiring process again. So let's get out in front of this negative behavior and start to look at what you can give your team members that demonstrates your commitment to them, your appreciation of their skills and expertise, and help them stay in the enthusiastic and more positive lane, even if you can't afford a bump in pay right now. Here's the first gift that you can give your team to keep them motivated: your time. Set up regular one-to-ones with your team members and a regular drop-in time for people to come forward with, whatever's on their mind. Teaching your team how to respect your time and how they should respect their own time is the secondary gift of this one. Set up drum beats for these touch points and commit to them. Nothing says you're just not that important to me than canceling a one-to-one or hosting it, but being so focused on your phone or your email inbox the whole time instead of them. It's also not appreciated if you set up a Slack channel or a ClickUp list to capture questions and ideas and follow through, but you rarely respond. Members of the Leadership Lab programs have all learned the value of showing up for their team on a regular basis, including the critical first day of a new hire joining the team and those critical years of service celebrations. Teams remember these moments, and peers are watching too. Now, don't say you have an open door policy if you don't. Don't say, I'm always available to you if you're not. Don't say, let's book some time together this week to talk about that, and then you don't. I'm actually encouraging you to not have an open door policy, but rather protect your time and your team's time by setting up regular times throughout the week and the month to connect, but in a meaningful way. Now, everyone knows that time is money, and your team members' time is just as important as yours. So why not mutually respect each other's time by setting up drum beats for specific conversations and collaborations and then sticking to them? This is as easy as choosing one time slot a week for drop-ins or an open office hours on Zoom to be available for your team. It's also easiest to schedule out one-to-ones and locking them into calendars a quarter at a time. You'll be giving everyone plenty of time to prepare for their weekly or monthly or quarterly one-to-ones to really maximize your time together. Here's the second gift that you can give your team to keep them motivated: your trust. You've got to give it to receive it. So this gift begins with you demonstrating that you really do trust your team. Now, obviously, new hires need to earn your trust, but that can happen really quickly if you're hiring right. More experienced team members deserve your trust, and you can show this by deferring to them for decision-making. Ask them for their point of view and sharing pertinent information with your team to help them make informed decisions. Often small business owners put gate after gate after gate in front of team members to get through before they fully trust them. For the team member, it can feel like you're simply waiting to yank back your trust at any given moment. Instead, why not give people your trust first and openly tell them that you trust them to do the right thing, setting the tone that you expect them to do the right thing? For most people, they will, especially when you reinforce it, simply by saying things like, I know I can count on you to follow through on this, or it feels great to have you lead this project. I trust your judgment to serve that client really well. The third gift that you can give your team to keep them motivated is your respect. This gift is founded on how you speak to people. I did a whole episode on this. It was episode 279, and it was called Warning, How You Speak is Impacting Your Team. Because it really is. Now, I'm sure you've met someone who's rubbed you the wrong way because of how they've interacted with you. Or you've witnessed a customer berating a server, and you've likely seen a boss embarrass a team member in front of a customer or a peer. It's all awful to witness, and it's even more awful if you're on the receiving end of it. Choosing to speak respectfully and professionally with kindness helps to create a sense of safety for everyone on your team. People will feel the real thing, your true intentions. So no fluff, no manipulation, just simple conversations that are meaningful and straight up. People also like it when you can inform them with facts, not waste their time speculating about a problem or a course of action to take, but instead speak with them in such a way that demonstrates your respect for their intelligence, their experience, and their ability to listen and then take action. Now, you hear me say it all the time that the people closest to the work know the most about the work. So why not ask their point of view? And I encourage you to respect your team as individuals and collectively by not referring to them as your squad, your deputies, your people, your workers. No, they are people, team members who deserve to feel safe, seen, and heard at work. It starts with treating people with dignity and respect for who they are, where they come from, and what they bring to the table, and of course, who are they becoming? So here's the fourth gift in the lineup today, but it's a doozy. And when it's done consistently, it can really motivate your team. Here it is. Number 4, your vision. Giving the gift of certainty can help reassure your team that they're working alongside a leader who knows where she's going, what she stands for, and who she serves. When your team members know the details of your vision, your mission, and your strategic plan, they can then see themselves playing a role in it, and they will want to participate in bringing it all to life. You know, it's hard for team members to stay motivated and focused when the plan keeps changing, when the shifts keep coming, and when what you accomplished last week is quickly forgotten and no longer even relevant to what's being asked of you this week. That's no way to succeed. It only frustrates your team. Your team wants clarity because it helps them stay clear on their work plans and confidently be able to make decisions that link to the long term rather than saying yes to something because it's the flavor of the month. Now, ideally, you'd share your vision in a few different ways, such as a New Year kickoff meeting, quarterly reviews, linking individual work plans to the strategic plan. I've done previous episodes on all of these, and I encourage you to scroll back through the archive and tune in to one of those to get some more details on how to do that really well. And it helps to have some sort of visual too, like a whiteboard that acts as a dashboard complete with images and key milestones, and of course, quarterly celebration activities to commemorate everyone's hard work in achieving those results. And here's the last gift that I'll share with you today that can help your team stay motivated. Here it is, your humility. Let them see you laugh at yourself. Your team wants to see your full personality, and that includes the lighter side of it. Telling stories is a great way to connect with your team and show them that you're a work in progress, just like they are. Here are some storylines that you can weave into group conversations, team meetings, and coaching conversations during one-to-ones. My biggest fail, my biggest win, my dumbest move, my worst day on the job, my favorite mentor, back in the day with my best friend and I on the job, or the toughest feedback I ever received. And then invite your team to tell their stories. Those stories will help tether your team members to you, the business, and their peers. You know, relatable stories help to make it okay to mess up. Pick yourself up and then move forward. and activities that showcase unique skills that wow people who don't have those abilities is also a fun way to show your humility and take ownership for what you do well and what you don't do so well, but all in a lighthearted way. Today, we walk through 5 ways that you can give gifts to your team that will undoubtedly keep them motivated. Here they are again. The first one was your time, then your trust, your respect. Number 4 was your vision, and the last one was your humility. But of course, there are other ways to think about too, especially when you can't afford to increase wages. Your small business might not be prepared to increase everyone's pay or level up their benefits, but you can afford to get creative to motivate your team, reduce turnover, and increase stability with little to no cash, with 12 strategies that we've packaged together for you in one guide. It's called 12 Ways to Motivate Your Team Without a Pay Raise. It's designed specifically for small business owners who don't have all the excess that big corporations have, nor the bank accounts for bonuses, stock options, or significant healthcare coverage. These 12 ways are low cost to no cost and easy to implement so that you can engage your team to stay with you, elevate everyone's contribution, and help your team members to decide that they want to build their career with you. So download your free guide for small business owners at the website, stackingyourteam.com/12 ways, or click the link that's in the episode description. You and your team are going to be glad that you did. You know, leadership can be exciting, challenging, and lonely at times. So don't go it alone. Let me help you create the team and the leadership structure that you've been craving. So until next time, remember, if you have a dream, you need a team. So let's get stacking yours today.